All right, good morning. So we're back. We're doing lesson 5-6, which is using partial quotients again. For greater problems. So for larger problems. Okay, and these problems that we're going to do today have remainders. Okay, they have a part that's left over that you can't divide evenly, okay? But we're going to use the same strategies that we used in 5-5 with the partial quotients, okay? So we're going to take a larger problem. I'm on page 190, and I'm looking in the middle of the page here where they have 27 divided by 5, okay? Or I'm sorry, 277 divided by 5. So 277 divided by 5. So in the first part of that example there, they write the problem vertically. So 277 divided by 5. And they start by estimating how many times does 5 go into 27. Now this, remember when we do partial products, you can just keep adding on more answer as you get closer to the final number, okay? So they start off with estimating 5 times 40, okay? Well, because they're kind of looking at 20 here, like 27, okay? So they're trying out, okay, 5 times 40, that would be 20 and a 0, 200, okay? So that's close. But maybe I could go a little bit more. So let's try 5 times, what'd they do? 50. Okay, so 5 times 5 is 25, add the 0. So 250, well, that's closer. Let's try 5 times 60. 5 times 6 is 30, and I add another 0. 300, okay, so that's too much because our answer, oh, you know what I wanted to do so that I'm using the vocabulary with you guys? The number inside the box is called the dividend. Did I spell it right? That's probably hard for you to read. Make it clear. So if I say dividend, that is referring to the number inside the box. Okay, that's the number that's being divided. And then the divisor is the number outside. Okay, the quotient is the answer up top. So all the partial quotients, whatever we put up top here, that's the answer, the quotient. And then whatever I get left down here at the bottom is the remainder, whatever's left over. Okay, what's left over? What's remaining? Okay, that's where they got remainder. Okay, so now I said here 5 times 60 is 300. That's larger than our dividend, so I can't go over it. So that will not work. So can't do that one. Okay, so I can write down either one of these to continue on with my problem. I might as well go with the one that's closer, so I have less work. All right, so that was 5 times 50. Okay, and I'm going to write 50 over my tens column because it's not 100. It's not in the hundreds place. It's a 50. That's a tens place. So I'm going to write it over the tens column. Okay, so 50. So that was 250. Okay, so I'm going to subtract that from my dividend. And I get 27, okay? So this is what I still have left. Right now, that's my remainder, but I can still divide. 5 goes into 27. So let's just count my 5s. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Okay, that's 5 times. All right, if I go one more, it's 30, and that's too much. So 5 times. Okay, so that's minus 25. Okay, so then I have 2. And now 5 can't go into 2 because 2 is smaller than 5. Okay, so I can't do any more dividing. So this now is my remainder. That's what's left that I can't divide anymore. Okay, 2. So the way that I would write that, the whole answer is 277 divided by 5 is, I would add these up, that's 55. And then what's left is the 2. So then I put an R for the remainder, 2. Okay, so 5 goes into 277 55 whole times. And then there's 2 ones. Okay, there's 2 left over that can't be divided. Okay, so 55 remainder 2. So the problem on this page said a total number of 277 people, that's 277, signed up for an audition for a talent show. 5 people at a time. So I'm going to erase this. Okay, so they're going to a talent show. Okay, there's 277 people who want to try out for this talent show. 5 people at a time go in front of the judges to interview. Okay, so here's your judges. Okay, so 5 people at a time go in front of the judges. And the question is, how many group interviews were needed to audition 277 people? So when we did all our division, that was 55 groups of 5. Okay, so there would be 55 groups of 5 people plus one more group of how many people? What's left? 2. So one more group of 2 people. So if I have 55 groups of 5 people go in front of the judges and then one more group with 2 people, I have 277 people all together that go in front of the judges. Okay, so that's what the answer means. Okay, so I'm going to erase all this and do another problem. Okay, let's see. Okay, so this problem right here. Number 1 says Hillary has 254 tokens to use for games at Pizza Mania. So that's like a pizza place. And she has tokens to use for games there. She would like to use an equal number of tokens for each of her 3 visits that she has planned. So she's going to go to the pizza place 3 times. She has 254 tokens total. She wants to split it into 3 groups. So she has the same number of tokens to take with her each time she goes. Will Hillary be able to use the same amount of tokens for each visit? So we're going to do 254 divided by her 3 visits that she's going to go to see how many tokens she can take with her on each visit. So 254 divided by 3. Okay, so 254 tokens divided by 3 visits, and that'll give us, our quotient will be how many tickets she gets to take with her to each visit. Okay, so let's start with estimating how many times 3 goes into 254. So think about our multiples of 3. I know 3 times 7, so let's just say 70 because I needed to wind up being in the 100th place, the answer. 3 times 7 is 21 and a 0, so 210. So that's pretty close. Let me try 3 times 80 and see if that's closer. 3 times 80. So 3 times 8 is 24, and a 0, that's 240. Yeah, that's closer, but I can't go over. So let's try one more. 3 times 90. So 3 times 9 is 27, add a 0. Okay, that's too much. I can't use that one. Okay, so the closest one is this right here. Okay, so I'm going to write 80 up top. And I know that 3 times 80, okay, is 240. So I'm going to subtract 240. And that gives me 14. Okay, it's 2 minus 2, 0. Okay, so I have 14 left. 3 is smaller than 14, so I know 3 can go into 14. So let me count by 3s. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. 15 is too many, so that would be 4 times. Okay, 4 times, that's 12. So then I subtract and I get 2. Now 3 can't go into 2 because 2 is smaller than 3, so I have to stop here. This is my remainder. So here are my partial quotients. I'm going to add those up. That's 84. And then my remainder is 2. Okay, so she can bring with her 84 tokens, and remainder 2 is like part of a token. You can't use part of a token. So she would only be able to bring with her on each trip 84 tokens. Okay, so it doesn't go in evenly, but that's okay. She still has plenty of tokens that she could use. Okay, so that is that. All right, so very similar to what we did in 5-5 using the partial quotients. But these problems, you're probably going to have a little bit left over, so you have to write that as a remainder, whatever, 2. Okay, so I'm going to erase this. And assign you your problems. So you guys are going to do pages 191 and 192. Numbers 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 17. Okay, so you could circle those in your book or write it down. You're going to want to do the work in binder paper because it gets lengthy and you will not have enough room to do it in your workbook. Okay, so use binder paper. Don't try to squish it all in on your workbook. So go ahead, write that down, circle the problems, and I will see you next time. Bye.